President Donald Trump delivered a sharp rebuke of Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday, declaring that Putin has completely lost his mind following Russia's most aggressive aerial assault on Ukraine since the war began over 3 years ago. Expressing deep concern and frustration, President Trump made it clear that he is not at all happy with what Putin is doing, emphasizing that the violent escalation is unnecessary and deeply troubling. Speaking about his past rapport with the Russian leader, Trump remarked, "I've always had a strong, productive relationship with Vladimir Putin, but something has seriously changed. He's not the same person I once dealt with. He's gone absolutely crazy." Trump condemned the ongoing attacks, stressing that they are claiming innocent lives, not just those of soldiers. "We're seeing missiles and drones launched into Ukrainian cities without any real justification," he said. "Civilians are being killed, including children. It's pure chaos, and there's no excuse for it." Trump also directed criticism at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who had earlier suggested that America's lack of vocal opposition was encouraging Putin's aggression. In response, Trump accused Zelensky of stirring up unnecessary problems. "The way Zelensky talks, he's not helping his own people," Trump wrote. "Every word out of his mouth seems to cause more friction. I don't like it, and I want it to stop." The attacks over the weekend resulted in the deaths of at least 12 Ukrainian civilians, including children, with many others injured. Russian forces have ramped up their bombardments, even as global leaders urge Putin to consider a ceasefire and pull back. Zelensky, in an emotional statement, pointed out that while much of the world goes about its normal routines, the war continues relentlessly every day, and silence from nations like the United States only emboldens Russia's aggression. Later that evening, President Trump addressed the press and confirmed that his administration is actively considering new sanctions on Russia, though he had previously held off on further economic measures, hoping for possible diplomatic progress. He acknowledged that the current situation may require a tougher stance. "We're taking a hard look at it," he said. "I didn't want to rush into more sanctions, but things are changing fast." He also expressed shock that the large-scale airstrike came just days after he had spoken directly with Putin. "We were in the middle of the conversation," Trump explained, "and at the same time, he's ordering rockets to be fired at Kiev and other cities. It's hard to believe. It's reckless." He made the remarks while speaking to reporters in New Jersey as he prepared to return to Washington. President Donald Trump, who has frequently emphasized the strength of his personal rapport with Russian President Vladimir Putin, took a significant diplomatic step on Monday by speaking directly with the Russian leader. The goal of the conversation was clear: to lay the groundwork for a 30-day ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine in an effort to halt the escalating violence and begin the path toward peace. Following his call with Putin, President Trump also held follow-up discussions with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, as well as leaders from several key European nations. Shortly after these talks, Trump made a public announcement, stating that both Russia and Ukraine had agreed to begin formal negotiations aimed not only at a temporary ceasefire, but also at what he described as the most critical objective: a complete and lasting end to the war. "This isn't just about pausing the fighting for a few weeks," Trump explained. "This is the beginning of serious negotiations to bring the war to a full and final conclusion." He expressed cautious optimism, noting that both sides had shown willingness to come to the table and engage in dialogue. Trump was also clear about who should lead those talks. He emphasized that the terms of any agreement must be determined directly between the two nations involved. The conditions of the ceasefire and the future peace agreement will be crafted by Russia and Ukraine themselves, Trump stated. "No one else can define the details better than they can, because only they truly understand the full complexity of the issues on the ground." The president stressed that while outside nations can support the process and offer encouragement, the resolution must ultimately be shaped by those living through conflict. "We can guide and assist," he said, "but they're the ones who've been in this fight. They know what's been lost, what's at stake, and what peace will require."